I've got a cook who's deep in debt. Her name is Priya and she's worked with me for close to 7 years now. And every year I've seen the amount of money she owns to different people increase over and over again. Let's imagine this. She's got a loan, possibly about 2 lakhs, and the loan is not from a bank. She pays about 20,000 rupees just in interest every single month. So that's 2.4 lakhs paid in interest every year. And on a salary, cumulative salary of the entire family of about 30,000-40,000, 20,000 goes to paying interest. How will they pay for the household? How will they pay for everything else that they need to pay for and ever repay the principal?
வெளியே கொஞ்சம் ஜாஸ்தி வட்டி இருக்குன்ட்டு சரி எனக்கு அக்கௌண்ட் இருக்கு இல்லைங்களா, அதுக்காக பேங்க்குக்கு போனாங்க. அங்கே போனால் பேங்க்கில் நிறைய டாக்குமெண்ட்ஸுங்க பே ஸ்லிப்பு அதெல்லாம் கேட்டாங்க. எங்களுக்கு அது கொடுக்க முடியல. திருப்பி அது ஆகலைன்னும் போது திருப்பி இந்த மாதிரி வட்டிக்கே திருப்பி வந்து இங்கேயே வாங்க வேண்டிய சூழ்நிலை வந்துச்சு.
How are we going to change this? No matter how much money you and I lend, it's not going to change this. There's got to be a systemic transformation to bring these people into the banking system so they can avail credit at a much more affordable rate. So here's someone who's doing something amazing about it. Shubh Loans is an amazing little mobile platform created by a startup based in Bangalore. The platform acts as a bridge between banks and people like Priya who are underbanked. The Shubh Loans team helps them build credit scores and access fair credit at affordable interest rates. And this is important because what drives a lot of people deeper and deeper into debt and eventually into bankruptcy and suicide is unsurmountable debt. So, bringing about this transformation is who? Well, there's an entrepreneur at the helm of this tech startup. Let's meet Monish Anand in the studio and find out how he got into this and why. So, Monish, you were heading global finance and global banking and financial management at British Telecom, and then you quit that really well-paying job to do Shubh Loans, right? What was the turning point, and did anyone ever call you a fool for doing this?
Yeah, I mean, I'm sure a lot of people called me fool. At least one person called me fool on my face, which was my boss. And he said, why are you doing this? Because it's suicidal. Wrong side of 40, want to become an entrepreneur. That's the time when people start planning for the retirement, and I'm looking at starting a new business. And initially, when I was in my 20s, I wanted to work for a large organization. I said, I only want to work for Citibanks and Stanchart, Chartered banks of the world. It was almost like collecting trophies. And when you get older, and you start realizing that you want to make a larger impact.
Trophies ke saath kya kar sakta hu?
What can I do with it, right? And you want to make a larger impact. You want to be more than just a cog in the wheel. My experience was in banking. My experience was in banking technology. My experience was in banking communication technology, right? How do I put all of it together to build a real business which impacts, this larger population here?
So why is there this problem in India?
I think the fundamental reason is that banks, lenders in general, not only banks, are very risk averse here. Mm-hmm. One is that. And second is that they keep on doing what they've been doing for the last 40-45 years. Okay. There's no new thinking which is getting in. So, very interesting case, I'll tell you. My driver Abrar, he wanted a loan about 2 years back. So, Abrar is banking with this public sector bank where he's getting his salary. He makes about 18,000-19,000 rupees every month. Goes to his bank asking for money. He wanted 50,000 rupees because he was renting a place in Bangalore. Mm-hmm. 10 months is the deposit. Getting married, wanted to move out of his father's house. So bank didn't give him a loan because he didn't have a payslip. But what bank had was Abrar's financial data for last 2 years because they're his banks.
They did nothing
right?
with.
And so why do you need a payslip? You can see the inflow of fund coming in. You can see the outflow of funds. Then there are a lot of other data points which were available which bank is not even capturing. For example, Abrar is brought up in Bangalore, so there's a stability. Abrar's father runs a tailoring shop for last 28 years near Commercial Street, right? Abrar's family lives in their own house, right? So there's so many other data points which give you comfort.
So Shubh Loans helped Abrar get a loan of 50,000 rupees, enough for a deposit for the house that he and his new wife would move into. That's just one example. Today, Shubh Loans has helped over 1.5 lakh people build a credit score and helped thousands of people get a loan at an affordable interest rate.
How does Shubh Loans work, and what is the role of data and the mobile phone?
Yeah, so what we do is that we are a pure mobile lending company. So that means our entire story is on mobile, and that too on Android, right? So we have an app called Shubh Loans, which is a small 5 MB app, which is optimized to even work on a 2G network. More than anything else, what the app does is that it builds your credit score. We say on a score of 1 to 100, you're at 52 or you're at 68 or whatever the number will be. Now that's a very important exercise because I feel what can be measured is what can be improved. So if you know you're at 52 and you'll get a loan if you become 70, right? And we also tell you what will it take for you to move from 50 to 70, we are hand-holding you, right?
So it's not just the app and the system that you've developed, but also you have to educate people on how to use that system.
Absolutely.
And to expand its reach, Shubh Loans engages with businesses that have large pools of underbanked employees. Take, for example, a garment manufacturing company with hundreds of factory workers, each earning around 20,000 rupees a month. They all have bank accounts, but most do not qualify for a bank loan. These folks usually turn to their employers or to loan sharks when they need credit. But now they have access to Shubh Loans on their phones.
Now this funding comes from you or comes from the bank?
From the banks.
From the bank.
From the banks,
so you tie up with banks to enable
Absolutely.
them to fund this.
Absolutely.
And you're like the facilitator platform in between.
Yeah, which is great because see, banks have almost unlimited access to capital. We can never have that kind of a debt capital. Banks want to do this, so there's a real intent out there, and they were still trying to figure out how to do it. So we went to them and said, this is what we have built. You can use our technology platform to reach out to these individuals. We will acquire these individuals for you. We'll risk assess these individuals for you. We will help you in the credit decisioning for these individuals through a Shubh Loan score, and you help us on the funding side. Yes, and funds goes directly to that.
Makes your platform immensely scalable.
Absolutely.
So you started this about 2 years ago, and you only raised funding like a couple of months ago.
Right.
What is it like to switch from a well-paying job to doing this? I know it's the second time your second innings as an entrepreneur, but to live without a salary, how does your family feel about that, and how do you feel about that?
I think human beings are very adaptable, right? And all of us adapt. And specifically if you know that it's being done for a larger cause. My wife was working till about 2 months back. So she was a huge support. She was paying all the bills. And we had some savings. Most of the saving went into the company, but some savings which we had done. I being a banker, so I've been a little bit careful about my money.
Smart with your money.
Yeah, how we've saved the money or where we've invested. So it did carry us through. It's obviously, we had to cut down on things like going out and a lot of other things.
Holidays.
But yeah.
Let's talk about failure. This is your second innings as an entrepreneur, and the first time around it didn't go too well. What are your thoughts on failure? Do you think about it? Is that something you fear, or is that something you feel like, well, let's bring it on, let's figure it out?
What really happened is that sometimes you get very obsessed with the larger picture, okay? And I'm glad that failure happened, honestly, when I look back, is because it was a very humbling experience. It made me a better person, right? In fact, a lot of people used to work with me in 2004, 2008 are back. Working with me at Shubh Loans. What I'd learned in those 4 years is not something which I would have learned in any management college. I can actually write a book on what an entrepreneur should not do. And the first chapter should be that entrepreneurs should always hire a good accountant. So a lot of learnings from there.
2 years of this, there must have been like a goosebumps moment. And I say this because I remember when I first started the business several years ago, there was a point like 6 months into this when I said, okay, that's it, I'm going to give this up because it's just too much to do, too much pressure, and not enough money in the bank. And then I had somebody said something and it sort of kept me going, and I've had sort of several goosebump moments since, which essentially are moments when I felt like, wow, this is why I'm doing this no matter what the challenges are, right? So what was like a goosebump moment for you?
Oh, many. One particularly I remember is there's about a year back, salaries had to be paid, and we didn't have enough money in the bank, and so my wife actually had to pawn her jewelry, and of course we got it back 3 months later. But when things like this happen, it never shaked my my belief in the whole thing,
yeah.
but it does set you back a little bit. But when I look back now, we both of us laugh about it, because we wore these dark glasses and we were walking up this finance company to actually give the jewelry and get the money out.
Because you didn't want to be seen
we
doing
don't
that.
want to be
Almost you were
seen,
very embarrassed about it.
But so that's one thing which has stayed. But then also that brings you closer, right? And it was a fantastic moment.
So we're gonna, go away from the interview format for a second. We have. I'm gonna hide this from you. You can't hopefully see the words. We've got what I would call a milk bottle full of pebbles and words. Okay, wise words. So you're gonna pick a word, and then we're gonna sort of reflect on that word. And I wanna hear what you have to say about that word. So can you close your eyes? Okay, just put your hand out, and pick any word. All right. What did you get?
Success.
Success. All right. So what does success mean to you now?
Yeah, success. One thing which is very, very close to my heart is how can we enable the household help to get loans easily? They're the first one to get up in the morning, the last one to sleep. And how can we enable them to get loans easily? They have requirements like you and I do.
Okay, so for you at a more personal level, what does success mean?
I think a personal level, large success would be that that I built a company. My last company didn't didn't go the way we had planned. Individuals who are working in the company, they all achieve their goals. The reason why they're working in this company, whether the goal is to have a lot of money in the bank account. All 68 people who are working in the company don't have the same goals, right?
Yeah.
Or the goal is to make a large impact. Both the goals
should be met.
Yeah.
So Monish, with that we come to the end of the conversation. Do you have the message for the viewers?
Yes, I do actually. There's something very impactful which each one of you can do. We have these angels helping us every day, our cooks, our nannies, our drivers. Please, pay their salaries through the bank account. Help them get an Aadhaar card. It's a very, very impactful gesture. Do it now.
Awesome. Thank you so much. And I will start doing that from this month onwards. And folks, more awesome stories coming your way, like Monish Anand's of Shubh Loans. So what should you do?
Subscribe.
Absolutely. Subscribe, and we'll see you soon. Thanks, Monish.
Thank you.